Hey there YouTube, and welcome back to Lion Collectibles for episode number 2. I wanted to give you guys a kind of an insight into my starting inventory. So as I mentioned in the first video, my dad and I collected cards since I was a kid. I actually ended up finding out later he was quite the collector himself, or mid-sized collector, at least big to me, when he brought up all of my old boxes as well as some of his trading cards that he collected. So it's really given me a cool start, I think, than some people who may not have any inventory at all, right? And so I'm a little bit lucky in that aspect. I have some stuff that I collected as a kid, so figured that'd be a good baseline to kind of show where I'm starting off at, talk about some of the stuff that I'm probably gonna, try to sell to upgrade into current things. So back here on this table, hope you can get a decent look at it, but it's boxes on boxes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got another like 3 or 4 smaller long boxes, and then probably 7 more binders is what I got of cards that we saved up. So got a lot of stuff to start off with. It gave me a lot of fun kind of going through it and cataloging it all. But yeah, let's kind of go through some of it. So first things first, Pokemon. That was my big start, really what I think of. I did collect Marvel with my dad before. But I was a little bit younger then, and I just really feel like Pokemon was the start for me, where I really started thinking, man, I like this stuff a lot. This was my original binder. I mean, I brought this to school. I showed it to kids. I had it all separated by their different colors. A lot of base set, jungle, fossil. Those are really what I collected at the time. I do have some other cards from later sets, but most of it is base set. Fossil and jungle. Got some big cards, some nice hollows. As I mentioned in the first video, they are not in the best of shape. Probably no PSA 10s or 9s, I would think. Didn't play a lot of the game, but just always handled them, pulling them in and out of the sleeves. I was a Charizard guy. I've always been a Charizard guy on Pokemon Red. That was always my first starting Pokemon, so unfortunately, I did have a base set Charizard when I was younger, but I actually had it stolen from me from some kids. So I lost my binder. I left a binder in a classroom, is from what I remember, and got returned to me. Some of the kids gave me, cards that they had taken out of, but I never got my Charizard. So one of my bigger cards, I would say, I got a Venusaur base set. Don't have a Blastoise. Never had one of those. Always wanted one. I got a Dragonite, Zapdos, Snorlax, Gyarados. So I got a lot of different stuff from the base set. So, this was really my pride and joy at the time. Still my pride and joy. It gives me good feelings to kind of look at it. But that's kind of the base Pokemon set that I have. Next up would be Magic. Really was one of my first loves as far as like a strategic game. This was my original beatdown box. I don't know if you can see it, but it came with a Sengir Vampire, I think is how you pronounce it, and a Digin. All those cards were super cool, but it was my start. It gave me a couple different decks to play with, and then I kind of supplemented with boosters and stuff like that. I have a lot of extras down in my garage that I kind of kept. Not a lot of valuable stuff. I have some decks. I thought they were going to be a lot more valuable, but they ended up being, just from what I can tell, Magic isn't as doesn't have as big of prices per common card per card as, say, crazy sports cards or Pokemon cards. A lot of it's based on utility, how good they are in decks. Something that's valuable is more of like a $10 to $20 card, unless you have like a holo of it or some stuff where they do sell higher. I don't really have a ton of those. I thought Legends were super valuable as a kid, and so I collected like Legends. I kind of always looked for those things, and it was just kind of funny to me looking some of those up, seeing that they're worth $1, $2, stuff like that. So not a ton of value in my Magic collection, I don't think, unless I'm overlooking some stuff. Overall, though, just great memories. Recently, I really started to play Magic Arena online. I think it's super fun. I love doing the drafts on there. Thinking about even maybe like trying to Twitch some of my videos playing. Not that I'm that great, but really enjoy that. And so, yeah, that's my Magic starting inventory. Next, it's I would think it's probably my most significant part of my starting inventory is my Marvel stuff. So this is a cover from a booster box from Marvel Masterpieces 1992. Beautiful set. I have the Marvel Masterpiece 1993 set as well. They were all hand painted photos by a guy Dusko, and so they're just really, really beautiful. I remember them being cool when I was a kid. Opening them up now, I thought, man, these are really awesome. But they're really, really great quality cards. They've been kept in pretty good shape. My dad and I kept these in pretty good shape. A lot of them in binders, extras, and the cardboard boxes, but they're really nice. I think they probably have a lot of value as well. Looking up some of the straight sales, a common card, not great. It, can go for $30-$40. Like it's a decent. They're decently valued. So have a lot of these. I got some different Marvel sets from the early 90s. I have some DC sets. So love these cards. It's been really fun, like going through reading the backs on them. Just kind of refreshing myself on some of the lore from Marvel. Like I know the big guys and will obviously have watched a lot of the movies in the last years, but this stuff, the comics where it originated from, is beautiful. It's well drawn, and I love the stories on it. So this is my big Marvel stuff. I will be selling some of this stuff. I have binders, and I have the singles, and I have complete sets, which I want to pass on to my kids someday. But like I said, kind of the idea was to kind of flip some of this old stuff, the extras that I have, to buy new investments and get kind of into the modern game of collecting. So that's my Marvel. This is a Silver Surfer set, which is really cool. And then you got a lot of these other boxes, which really are mainly sports. So, like I said, my dad collected baseball and football. In baseball, he really thought that, or the values that he put on the guys he collected were Nolan Ryan, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson. I got plenty of those different cards, some worth stuff, some not. In football, we've always been a Cowboys fan. I've always been a Cowboys fan. I love the Cowboys, even though, well, for better or worse, sometimes we don't play so well. Hope I'm not losing any fans for that. But, he collected Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Troy Aikman, Steve Young. He's got a couple Brett Favre rookies that are cool. And then he's got a lot of stuff that he went hit or miss on. Drew Bledsoe, Steve McNair, Kerry Collins, guys that he thought were going to be good, then ended up having, so-so careers or just nothing of heavy of note. I probably will sell a lot of those, right? Like, don't have a lot of connection with early football other than Emmitt Smith. I loved Emmitt Smith as a young kid, and Troy Aikman and that Cowboys team, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. But all the other stuff, don't have a lot of connection to, so I'll probably be looking to sell some of those things to upgrade to current football players. Same with baseball. Like, I love baseball in the sense that it reminds me a lot of when me and my dad used to go as kids. We're from Southern California. We're big Dodgers fans, or were Dodger fans when I was actually watching a lot of sports when I was young. But we used to go to a Dodger game every year. And so, that's kind of what my memories of baseball are. It's not necessarily like a huge love for the game. I don't watch it really now at all. Very rarely I watch playoffs, that kind of stuff. But I'll probably be looking to sell some of those and then, look to move those investment or that money over into football. Or the final thing, which is UFC. I just bought, but I bought some booster box or blaster boxes of 2021 and 2022 Panini Select and Chronicles. We're going to break some of those together. I want to build that part of my collection big time. That's where my focus is going to be. I love MMA. It's like my second love. First love only is my wife. But, like I said, I watch a lot of it. Want to do kind of specialized videos where, give some predictions on fights, give some background on fights to kind of grow the UFC card trading industry a little bit. And just want to collect a lot of those as well. So this is my starting inventory. I think it's pretty cool. I've loved going through it, and I want to share it with you guys. So future videos, want to break new stuff is kind of what I got planned next. I have been sitting on like a treasure trove of some of these UFC cards, some Pokemon cards, it's that kind of thing. So I've been waiting to break it to get the channel started, but then also want to send some cards into PSA regularly, so that'll be able to show you guys some of the cards that I think are valuable, and then I'll probably do some separate episodes on those as well. So thank you for tuning in for episode number 2. Look out for episode number 3, and we'll see you soon.